so mean to me.
Reboot.
Go into session promptly.
It's okay, no.
Do you have to bang your gavel?
No,
It's
no.
already been bad.
It's already been
Well, I just didn't want to get out of protocol
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, protocol.
I was just gonna bring you up to date.
Do you think the state would put a camera on the,
No.
both of the stop signs on Highway 50, Southeast 50 and Highway 50 were knocked over,
I can ask
Friday.
Sean Ray about it, but
and but it's happened more than, I think it
Bryce out
happened.
there for was.
Oh,
And we've had
Is that your-
issues with there.
Is that a narrow intersection
No.
for a truck turning?
No. No, you see
It's
the
just-
tracks going in.
It's just
ditch.
Oh.
just
I see.
And,
hooligans.
Yeah.
but, like I said, I didn't get a chance to talk to the guys that were installing it.
Because we lose one south of Stafford quite often. Not lose one, but get one knocked down about a mile south all the time. Once a month.
Well, I was surprised at both northbound and southbound.
Yeah. And if you have a nice road and people don't know the area and they're flying down through there,
Not good.
no, it's not.
Coming on to Highway 50.
Mhm.
But the locals know where the stop signs
Yeah.
are. It's not usually the issue. I mean, it's usually the issue of somebody that doesn't know.
Well, it was really strange because I drove up there and I thought, there's something wrong with this intersection. It's wide.
Yeah, you'd already stopped, hadn't you?
Yeah.
Did they take the sign or just leave it laying?
It's laying there. Well,
Just ran over the top of it.
then our 911 signs all crinkled up. And,
He's progressing on the building. He did the pad board last week. All the reference done on that, so he thought he wanted to let it set about 2 weeks before he start putting the building up, so. And then we're gonna start on the northwest corner, we're gonna do all our overlay and see one next year. We cut out holes and so next week with the warmer, with the weather getting a little warmer or better, we're paying it, we'll start getting out holes, put rock in bad places. Then we'll cut some rock patches and some weeds.
That would have been fun yesterday.
Yeah, well, there's ways to figure out where, you know, you go find a shelter valve or
Yeah,
something, you
yeah.
know, on the north side, you know, so. There's ways to take care of that, so
I
I
told
can
them they
get.
should build a fire instead of just chipping on the
Well, yeah, but actually that works pretty good, I mean,
Yeah, they don't have to be outside.
we don't have to run around and spend so much time picking up, I mean, you pick it up, throw it in there, and you're done.
How,
We don't have to go back and prove the brush.
How's the deal with the townships going? Do you know, I mean, do you know if they've got money left over?
Well, I
Or how
talked,
close their budgets came out?
I talked with Bernie, and I think they were within, and I don't know this for exact figure, but after we pulled some ditches up, he wanted to know so he could keep it straight. Now, Rose Valley, they were way ahead because we did all that work.
Right.
and-
Paying equipment.
Yeah, and I did talk to Rick, and I said, you may want to set you up a fund, an improvement fund or something like this.
Transfer.
Just so you have, or a material fund or something where, because they would have had some money left last year because they didn't
Right.
get into the budget much. So I did talk to him about that, so he would have access to some.
How do you think the hours that we've done that we've came out? I mean, do you think that's a fair price, or do you think that price needs to be
I
raised?
think with the where the fuel went, it probably was okay.
I didn't ask that question from outside.
well, I'm tired enough of it.
No, I mean, when you're driving around, you're not going to very hard.
No, I would just- I didn't know if-
It's not full of fuel there.
I mean, I didn't know if you kept track of the hours and the fuel and.
Oh, yeah,
have
we can go back and pull all that
I mean,
stuff out.
just to kind of see where we actually are and see if that,
Yeah, we can.
you know, if our rate is reasonable, if it's too high or too low, or,
Well, if anything, I'd say we're on the low side, but I'll pull them figures and give them to you.
I'm just curious.
No, it's good to look at that kind of thing.
I mean, where it's something that we're doing that's relatively new to us,
Yeah.
you know, and it looks like, you know, as we progress in the future, there's some more interest in that, and I'm just curious, before we get
Yeah.
too carried away,
Well,
before we get too involved, that we need to have a pretty concrete base here.
Yeah, and we've got a plan in place to take care of the snow for Rose Valley. We do not have a plan in place to take care of St. John Township. Like I told them, all the equipment.
What do you mean a
Well,
plan? Like where you go first and what you do first? Okay.
And I says, you know, that one's just gonna go on a route.
Right.
Where this one, we're so close to town.
Right.
But where they have their own grader, I says, the first day, you may have to take care of this yourself. And this is a discussion that I had with Bernie and a couple of others. And I says, unless it's, you know, I may be able to send a loader out there and, you know, get you a path or something
Right.
like that. But other than that, I mean, everything, you know, everything runs from this hub and goes out. Well, so you try to get it furthest away from home and then work your way back. So, I mean, as the day gets longer, it's a lot shorter trip back home. So, and Bernie's aware of this, so,
I think I would still touch base with them just to get a plan in place.
well, we do.
Or something to fall back on if something happens to somebody along the way here.
Yeah. But, yeah, I told Bernie, I said, we need to sit down, and so if we can't, you know, so we're not plowing everything, you know, we
Right.
plow school bus route or whatever.
Right.
You know, because the guys,
Because it don't need to be open there.
well, the guys feeding cattle have
Well,
have
yeah.
things that,
Yeah.
have ways to take care of what they need to do, or they wouldn't be feeding cattle anyway. So, yeah. But I have talked with him about that, and I'll get with him this week. I'll go out there and talk to him today.
I think he could help you just, I mean, he needs to decide as a township board members which road he wants open up first.
Or gravel guys. And maybe they had a plan too. They used their grader.
Well, when we first set this up, they were gonna take care of the snow.
Oh,
Well, and as all things go, you know,
Yeah.
things change.
yeah.
So, but like I said, all our stuff goes out, so,
Mhm.
and you can't put a truck up here. I mean, you know, I will not put a truck on dirt road.
Yes.
It might be trouble.
Yeah.
Been there, done that, watched it. So it doesn't turn out to be a good deal. Along those lines, it's set up for the 25th of January for the township meeting over here for the next
25th?
25th. That is on Wednesday.
And that's at lunchtime or 11?
Yes. That's all it should be. The next Wednesday, you all come down and do forklift training and then.
I've done forklift training already.
And then defensive driving in the afternoon. This is all for K-Works or K.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
I've already done my forklift, so I'm good with that.
I have had a couple people stop by my house that have hit the manhole covers on four-wheelers. Thought they were gonna lose it. If we could get them covered up a little bit on my road, it'd be nice. They're sticking up, especially with all this dirt we've had, it kind of, dirt blows around the manhole covers and they get more exposed all the time. They're sticking up pretty high. 3 or 4 inches some places.
yeah, there's so much fines on top of that road. That's the moisture.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
surprised
all
it
it
hasn't
is.
washed.
It's not worse.
No, it's not. Yeah, we did go over east, drive 3 miles over the other day.
If you
Well,
put
that's
those
right.
manhole covers, I never, you're not gonna lose it driving a regular vehicle, but I could see if somebody went up flying out there on a four-wheeler, they could.
You're talking about a ATV.
Yes.
Okay. I know it's there, why would you, yeah, but, okay.
Well, we're kind of stranger things happen in the county.
They might be hitting them on purpose. Then they realize I wasn't too smart.
And at the same time, like I think I visited with you about this, we're trying to move that road further to the east. It
Yeah.
progress so far to the west, but we're trying to get it moved back over there.
It'd be nice if the city would pull the east side of that ditch up so that.
Well, we may, and to get some decent dirt, we may do that this spring,
that would
to
be
try to
great.
get some cover on, because there was some decent cover on them at one time, but you're right, it has got to where there's,
Yeah, it's pushing further and further to the west all the time. If we dug out the east side, it'd keep it out of my field.
Talk with them, they probably don't want to pay that kind of money.
It's their only way to get water out of town.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's over, actually, there's their maintenance responsibility, so.
Yeah,
And
it's been
they haven't done anything with that ditch
It's
for a
been
long time.
ignored forever.
Yeah.
The
Because we-
very line culverts under it, as deep as that is.
That would be nice.
Well, one time, years ago, they had a plan where to get it culverted all the way, at least up to First Street, or to your mom's corner.
Yeah.
To Frank's.
And then you go the whole way, that's dangerous.
Well, yeah.
They did that at Great Bend, I mean, that channel, you wouldn't get in it from the ditch, but they did that from the river, or diversion dam cleared to, I don't know how far north that goes there, north of Dundee. They buried that.
Well,
We've just done that about 20 years ago.
I
Learned a
know.
lot too.
Yeah. 20 years ago, it's just as expensive.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it now either.
Oh,
yeah, culverts, price come down a little bit, but not much. The prices still come down. But bids, I haven't been up there for a while, I tried to come up much, I don't know, if we want to look it down there anyway.
What's this?
they're sending something electronically.
You get that yet? We got that today.
Oh, okay, that's just for that, there's 40 miles of it. That's on that high-risk road, so for the signage up here, they call them minor collectors, it'll be on the township roads for the signage, is what this is. I downloaded the plans and can bring it back up to you. It's-
I just didn't even know what it was about. but-
Yeah, it's at high-risk roads to that sign. Oh, originally when we applied for this, we thought maybe we could get, townships and get them all up in compliance and help, help them get updated. Well, there were so many people started applying for these. They did minor collectors, and so any thoughts of getting a whole township done now or years down the road? But this is at least going to take care of some. It's, I think the north third of the county is what it is. So, yeah, there's going to be nobody out on fire. Kirk and Michaels did it for their engineering, and they'll come out and do the construction staking. And we'll force account, put up the sign for that. It's probably will take a week. Anytime the state sends it out, you'll get a copy of it, more than likely. They haven't said how much money we're going to get in our federal funds exchange this year, but I think sometime in the year, we'll apply for it, get it back. I think we've got, $200,000 or $300,000 improvement fund. At some point, what I'd like to do with that is do a hot mix overlay. And I could put that
Mine red.
Oh, he did that. Oh, now we're good.
Let me put that in a minute.
Over the manhole cover.
I couldn't hear him, so I wanted to make sure I was right.
Well, we have three different ideas.
We can compromise on maybe one.
They're gonna flip a coin.
I only need a half mile.
Only need that.
We only need a mile. That's the
How much
basic
do you
position.
take, 2 miles? How
2
far?
miles.
2 miles.
Oh, that might
All
be
right,
put
mile
off
and
for a while.
3/4.
But yeah, then you're talking about right-of-way acquisition and
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
And no doubt have to widen the road a little bit
Oh,
too,
yeah,
to
I'm
accommodate.
sure. I'm sure.
We need to put a counter and see who gets the most travel.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but you know what?
That don't
It-
count.
yeah,
I'll win.
City traffic don't count.
it'd be like years
In the
ago.
country.
Yeah, four-wheelers.
Years ago, they let school out at Lincoln or somewhere because one of them counters and they were trying to do something. So they just let the kids
Drive around.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
jeez.
Yeah. Well, I'll guarantee you what township road would win in the state, and that's it.
That West Street gets
Right by my
traveled a
Oh,
lot.
yeah, there's,
Yeah.
It's not even
They can
close.
grade it going south of First Street, and by lunchtime, it's washboarded from one end to the next.
People that don't wanna get.
But anyways, where did you say you're gonna do that?
Cleveland County.
well, I'd like to, a few years ago when we went up there and put that on that east 2 miles of Hudson Road, all we did was put a mat, so with that traffic, I would like to put a hot mix on at some point. And maybe in the next year or two, maybe the time that we can see what, we really want to do it when the oil prices down,
Comes back
so,
up.
yeah.
How's that road held up? I haven't been up that way.
We've passed just some, but
Or on
it's
that
held
road,
up really
yeah.
well. I mean, for the amount of trucks that go up and down that road, I've been real pleased with it. Because we put the millings down and we primed,
Yeah.
and then we sealed it and then we went in there next year and put some asphalt down. And our asphalt is not going to stand up
Right.
for that long period of
Yeah.
time, so.
So how's the one holding up, going in the sewer?
Oh, that's
Or-
fine.
Our 219?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. I
Yeah.
mean, it's on this, we may skin it this year, 15 loads. I mean, it's real thin, just to kind of smooth it up. And, yeah, we got some other places, but then you get that chatter. I mean, it's not rough, it's more of a, just irritant.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I mean,
not-
you
and it's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's not. It's not as rough as
Yeah.
some.
But I think if you don't keep on it, I think
Oh, yeah,
it can get bad.
oh, yeah,
There's a lot
they'll,
of traffic on that one too.
well, our truck traffic's all increased, just like that house. That's the only way the mill has to get it going to keep them in and out, so. I mean, you take all the semis, so there's a lot of trucks running down that Hudson Road.
I noticed some spots here on First Street coming into town. Who's responsible? Are we responsible for First Street through town or just to the city limits?
To the city limits, which is, actually, we right there at the trailer, Valerie, right there at the trailer is where we take it. We have been doing it from, where the sign
The
says.
west city limits you're
Yeah.
talking? Yeah.
But the west city limits is actually clear out there at
By the field plant?
Because I wanted to, I actually asked him if he would, I says, here's what we'll do. If you'll take these poles and move them back to the edge of the right of way where they should. Because that's
Yeah.
for a farming community and then poles to be right there coming in the edge of town, it's just,
Not a good spot.
no. And that was a bad deal years ago. Two guys got knocked in it. That's why it was, but used to be we took care
That
of
wouldn't
the
happen
coat.
myself.
Well, I can say that because I wasn't one. But we used to take care of the co-op on out.
Right. Well, that's why I asked, because that's where it seems like the road's getting, like it's flaking out or something.
Yeah.
In a couple of spots.
And I told him, I says, well, if you move them poles, we'll take it back over. If not, we're gonna go back out to the edge of the city limits. I said, we're no different than you. We've got a limited amount of money.
Right.
And
Because someday that's gonna be an issue, major issue, that intersection.
oh, yeah, it already is because.
I mean, the only reason I asked is I'd seen, we striped and overlaid there once before.
Yeah, probably so. Because actually, when Mel was in, I asked Mel, I said, if you move the poles back, we'll take this back. If not, we're going to go out to here.
Right.
Because the poles are so close to that road.
Yeah.
They're a road hazard, I'm sorry. I mean, you want to clear what they call clear zone, so that's why all your poles go to the edge of the right of way. You try to put all your obstructions out there. Yeah, that thing needs some serious, it needs some drainage. It's too much water stands on it. And
Well, there needs to be something done even in town, because
all
all
the
that's
buildup,
got
yeah.
real high on the edge of the road and it holds water.
Mhm. Yeah, it does. And we will do a little bit of ditch cleaning out that way, like in the valley, see what
Good.
places. Okay.
Have you done anything at that cemetery?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they went out and took care of it.
Is it cleaned up?
Mhm.
Is the fence fixed?
I will go check all this and,
And they're taking the trees out.
They cleaned it up, but I'll go check and make sure.
And what are we, gonna contract that out, or what did we decide to do there?
That's what we decided. Take bids.
Yeah.
But
I
that
guess
fence
not.
was pretty crappy. I mean,
Was it a woman
it's a
wire?
woven
Woven
wire.
wire. Then there's that old scrum.
Is that the only one we need to address, or do?
So far,
So far.
I didn't know if that fence needed to be
No, I
replaced.
could just link them all together,
Um,
or we don't ever have to worry about it. And they're all taken care
Well,
of.
we only have to.
We haven't been down there, we took before
Let's see,
pictures
it's
and
scared.
then take after
Mark.
pictures to send it to Pico, so.
Okay, no,
But
I
if that, we need to get that fence.
imagine it's just a matter of old and.
It is,
Yeah.
and there's stuff growing up in it, and you know how that woven wire gets, so.
Looks good when you first put it in.
Needs 7 inch.
And then it looks good today, you take it down.
But, we need to get that taken care of.
Yeah, because the city's still doing that here, they did Martin.
Are they?
Oh, they did
Yeah,
last year.
or somebody has.
Yeah,
one.
they did last year.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to wait till spring to bid that out?
Yeah.
Okay. I
If
just
they've
don't
got
wanna
it cleaned
forget
up
about
for
it.
the winter, we'll address that in March or April.
I just didn't want to forget about it. And I put it on there.
But that's old, that old tree is
Take some of my
half
stuff
of
off.
it dead. And
It's
it's the north, about the middle to the north end. I don't know if there's a marker right there or not. I didn't walk in there. I just drove by there the other day and saw it. It had been cleaned up and looked a little better than what it had, but then I noticed that
The
it
tree's
was
still there.
well, and the tree was still there when I went. This is a week or so ago.
Well, then we haven't cleaned it.
Well,
That part of it.
Does it need a fence around it?
Fence and the trees taken out,
Remove the fence?
or we're gonna put one
I
back
think
up.
you need to put something around it.
Well, yeah.
Or we
I
should
mean,
just
we're-
take
we're-
that one out, put a
Yeah,
vinyl one up, so we ain't
we're-
gotta worry about it.
Where it's,
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
where it's farmed, yeah, or you
It
know.
needs-
I
farmer.
think
It'll
with the
be-
notices we got, it needs to kind of be addressed. I
Yeah,
mean,
we used to have an issue with them encroaching on the road, so if you took the fence down, it wouldn't be good there, I don't think.
You can just put a 2-rail vinyl fence around it, not
Yeah,
like a very
yeah,
fancy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, just like the north side up here, and then just a 2-rail.
I think so.
No, it's for it.
Can you guys do that?
Huh?
Can you guys do that, or do you need to hire that one?
I don't know, we can look into it and see.
And I get it. Gotta get those people in there.
It would have been a while since you had it there, since they had it there.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Is that a family, or was that a town?
The
Area.
majority of those are family. But the kicker was, I think one was a Civil War veteran.
Yes.
I have a whole 5 on it in there.
Got a lot of
And don't
files.
copy the DAR.
Happy fun fixing day.
Don't fall down again.
Yeah.
Not gonna hurt it.
It's true.
Keep moving, don't.
Show and tell, see what happens when you fall on your.
See, watch out, he walks out of here.
Was it in your back pocket or your front pocket?
They make walkers.
My back pocket.
For
Walker?
elderly people, there's walkers.
Well, in the health department, they probably have one.
Assisted.
Or a wheelchair.
I can do that, the camera's behind me.
Keep it up.
Don't break that
Hey,
down.
Well, it's not one of these days.
I did make a smile.
At home.
Lisa, do you have anything?
No.
I'd
Rob?
make a motion for the tax roll corrections.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the tax roll corrections. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I move that we approve the minutes
minutes of the December 28th meeting. Second.
Then moved second, we accept the minutes of December 28th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Is this one transaction here?
No, there are a whole bunch of different ones.
I think it's personal property.
Yeah, it's all personal property, so.
We'll recess.
I would like to have the people that are in attendance introduce themselves.
Okay.
Hi, Richard Carter, physician at the hospital as well as with the management company, part of personal care, Safford.
Joe Cayley.
Tom Taylor.
Katrina Harris.
Tracy Fancher.
Mary Hildebrand.
Ruth Tuckman.
Boyd Walker.
Got it ready? Okay. So just to make sure the record is clear, Will and I are here on behalf of Stafford County Hospital. We do not represent any individuals here on the board. And want to make that clear because of the nature of which we're here at the request of the board to provide information. I have documentation that you've requested that I'll turn over to you. But due to the fact that Mr. Sheepak has started a criminal inquisition, it puts the board members in a very awkward and potentially damaging position we don't represent them. They just got notice of this hearing on Saturday, so they haven't had time to get individual counsel. And so I think the chairman wants to read a statement into the record about that, but then after he does that, then I think we're prepared to discuss some of this information. To the extent you want to do that, we can come back and discuss it at a later time. I know Dr. Carter wants to make a statement, and we'll go from there. We want to be as open as we can, but due to the fact of the way that the matter is currently structured, it limits their ability to do so, and not by their choosing. So that's where we are. You have requested in this that we provide financial statements from July and minutes from July through the end of the year. What I'll deliver to you, to whomever, are those through November. The December statements have not been completed, and there hasn't, the minutes haven't been approved for the December meeting. Will and I had a conversation prior to this with Mr. Sheepak, and so I'll just kind of summarize what and address the concerns that he expressed to us. One is that the commission feels as if you haven't been provided adequate information. That's not the intent of the board of the hospital to do that. He indicated that the commission, as it rightly should be, is very concerned about the financial condition of the hospital, the fact that it is in a difficult financial position. The board here wants to demonstrate by its appearance today that it is really supportive of the hospital and is doing everything it can to get that done. That the numbers are dire at this point, but there is a plan going forward to try and right the ship. Just so that it's clear to the commission, there is no request currently under consideration by the hospital to request additional funding other than where it is currently. and I'll let Dr. Carter address the timing of the funding and how it is expected to come in and when and why. I guess one thing I would give as a basis for explanation on critical access hospitals, and you can cut me off if I'm going over plowed ground for you guys, but as opposed to other types of hospitals, the government has said that critical access is important, and so it is reimbursed on a retroactive basis, its cost for providing Medicare patients services. And so, if this were Wesley Hospital in Wichita, you get X dollars for an MRI, period. You get X dollars for a ER visit, period. Doesn't matter what it is. Here, if somebody comes in for that visit, or you don't have an MRI, I don't think, but for that service, it's going to be made up, and it could be X dollars plus 20. And so there is a mechanism, and it's a deliberate legislative decision made by Congress that we're going to support rural communities and the healthcare in rural communities. And the only way to do that is to subsidize it to that extent. And so, be that as it may, you can say, that shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is in a lot of cases, in a lot of industries. And so that is kind of the basis upon which you're going to hear Dr. Carter talk about the plan going forward. And I want to emphasize again that there has been no consideration, no request at Fort Wayne to increase the funding of the hospital or for a bailout in the foreseeable future. So with that, you might. Sure. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The chairman probably ought to read a statement before we go any further.
Well, Mr. Schwartz pretty much has already said everything I had, but I just thought I'd let you know, Stafford County Hospital Board received your letters on Saturday. We brought the items you requested through 11:30 because the December minutes haven't been approved and the financials are not finished yet for December. Hospital counsel is present, however, they cannot represent the board. So, since the letter was received on a holiday weekend on such short notice, the board could not get counsel on a timely basis, so we feel the board should not say anything more.
So, and put it a little different, since there is a criminal inquisition underway, and the person leading that is your counsel here, just want to make sure that you understand, we're not trying to be uncooperative, but that is, having a sword of Damocles hanging over your head is not something to be taken lightly. And so,
Explain the criminal inquisition to me.
It's a process that the county attorney, your counsel, has started, wrote a letter and has asked the court, and the court has said, okay, you can conduct this criminal investigation into the hospital, into the management company, the board of directors of the hospital, and in his letter to us said there's potential criminal liability for the county commissioners, which, I mean, I think those are all stretches, but that's me talking. So there's a criminal investigation going on by your counsel, and we're sitting here. It was an application for inquisition that was filed on December 13th in the district court in Stafford County. So that's why we're being so cautious and careful here, because these volunteer directors are now being looked at for potential criminal liability, and so. In other words, the actions of a hospital administrator may implicate the hospital board and/or the county commissioners as potential defendants in a criminal proceeding. We don't want to get into the merits of that. There are allegations in here that perhaps there have been patients admitted to the hospital that shouldn't have been, or they were not medically necessary.
Excuse me, counsel. Inquisitions are closed court documents. May I ask where you got your copy?
I represent the hospital.
Yeah, but where did they get their copy?
It was delivered to the hospital. It was delivered to the hospital.
By whom?
Sheriff, you got this.
Deputy.
We got this from the clerk of the court.
Okay. Well, we got a problem, but also you might want to consider that you will have a problem because we're in an open session. You're referring to sealed court documents, which apparently somebody has released them.
I thought you said we were not in open session.
We're open session. They didn't move to go into closed
Yeah, but
session.
you jumped in and started
I thought when he said
your
he was
speech, and we were in session, we went into executive session.
I thought this was executive session.
It was never stated that we were in executive session. We can if you wish. That's what our intentions were until you started your spill.
Well, I met with your counsel prior to this, and he was talking about what exceptions there are to the open meetings laws. I'm led to believe that this was executive session, not an
Well, they have to move to go in session, have a vote in open meeting, and then if the vote is in favor, they then basically chase out the non-essential personnel and close the doors and stop the camera.
Dr. Carter, would you like to say something in open session or not?
No, I think the financial discussion would be the sensitive nature and is best in closed session. And I made that, I think one of you said session, so I thought the same thing, and I was about to start talking as well.
Our intent when we invited was we would like to talk to the board and their attorneys, and I would like to do that first.
Sure.
And if you want to stick around, it probably later.
The only thing I would request, I have a closing in Oklahoma at 1 o'clock, so I have to actually be headed back. I have to leave here by 10:15. So if you wanted any information on hospital strategy, finance, we've got our CFO here that's been handling the hospital books and records, and I'd be able to talk about that if you'd like to start with me and then finish up. Then I'd have to leave.
How long do you need?
Probably 15 minutes. At most.
I would move that we go into executive session with the hospital board, their attorneys, Dr. Carter and his associate for 15 minutes, and our board and 2 attorneys and me for 15 minutes.
And if you're going under KSA 75-4319, sub D, sub, well, no, that is financial. That's a privilege.
75-43-19, sub B, sub 4.
So D, sub what?
Sub B, sub 4.
It's been moved and seconded. We're going to executive session. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Who generated these financials?
We pulled those financials out of the general ledger.
From where?
The accounting system.
From the hospital?
Yeah, not the accounting system. This morning, you can see at the top date, we got the raw pulled from today. So that's what I put in the ledger for.
I would move we go back into an additional 15 minutes of executive session with the groups that was here before.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded. We go into executive session for another 15 minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Even in the picture, that's a question for the board.
Or we talked to you 2 or 3 times before the subpoena too, and stressed that we would like to have open lines of communication.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we do. That's why I've been coming to the county commissioners meeting. But like I said before the subpoena, I'll bring those financials at the first commissioners meeting after the board meeting. And then we got the subpoena, and so what I want to do is after each board meeting, and in between them, if necessary, come here and talk about. I don't want the commissioners to feel like there's some lack of understanding on any topic. I want us to all be on the same page. And if there, you know, the information, the concerns of the subpoena is something that a phone call to me or a phone call to the administrator, that can be resolved really quickly. So I want there to be an open line, because if you can imagine what we're trying to do to get this hospital where it needs to be right now, and now the amount of time we're spending on stuff that's not helping the hospital, it's devastating. My only goal, I know this board's only goal, Todd's goal, the reason we're here is to make this hospital work. And it will work if we're all working together. If we don't all work together, it will not work. There's no way our management company can come in here single-handedly and fix this hospital. It just can't happen. Everyone's got to work together. And just to reemphasize the other thing, we have no intent to ask for anything that would raise any taxes. I do feel that this hospital would survive if the funding was cut. The mills allocated to it were cut. There's even people that would be willing to look at buying the hospital because they believe that much in this facility and the support that the county is currently giving without any additional consideration. So that says a lot to what this hospital could do. With that, I've got to head out. I look forward to getting through the next several commissioners meetings with you all, hopefully, and keep this line of communication going.
So you will look into the hospital license?
I will do that, and I'll be in touch with you back. Yeah, that shouldn't take very long. Okay, is there any other, I mean, I would say that we're an open book, but because of the other issues that we talked about, we're not exactly an open book, but we'll answer whatever we can if you have any other questions.
I'd like to go back in executive session for 20 minutes under KML 75431974.
Second. It's been moved and second, we'll go in the executive session for 20.
With everybody here at the table and
Including the board?
in the board and Mr. Robinson.
20 minutes. All in favor? Aye. Into session, and now we're recessed. All right, in regards to the tax sale, minimum bid of 35, and the dumping fee will be waived, but a resolution will have to be passed first.
Agree with that?
So it's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Anything else at the present time?
Not at the present time.
We'll recess.
So what we would like to suggest is, as we talked, I really think we the liability issue that we discussed, and secondly, we'd like to suggest that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, that the board of the hospital come with Dr. Carter to present the December financials so that you have a year-end financial statement, and then also the presentation that Carter gave to the board when they were negotiating the contract, and to discuss that plan going forward. And I don't know if we'd make that, I mean, that's a request that we're making, and you don't know if you can schedule it now or if you do that offline.
Can we do the legal analysis before that?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll have that within a week or less.
Will you be here, or you want to send it, or?
What I plan to do, what I said earlier is we'll get it to Michael and Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
And there was a couple other questions that we had that you can do in your research. What were they?
Well, the one thing that jumped to mind was, and again, I profess no great knowledge of Board of Healing Arts
Come back and we'll get back to them.
rules, but can the Stafford County Hospital contract for professional services from an Oklahoma limited liability company, or are they limited to dealing with Kansas license?
I don't think there's any problem with that in my experience. They're national management companies that manage both critical access and non-critical, both public and private companies, so I don't think that's an issue.
Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
And we'll expect a copy of that dismissal, just by fax or email.
Do you have a card?
Yeah.
Because obviously I was going to send it to Mr. Bonnet, but I could send it to you folks too.
If you would, appreciate that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your
We
time.
have it at school. People have changed. Yeah.
That's maybe you like your wheels.
Mr. Robinson and I will have a couple matters to discuss with the board under attorney-client privilege.
We're going to go into executive session for 15 minutes. A second time. For non-elected, for various non-elected personnel issues. Attorney-client privilege. Attorney-client privilege.
You're getting your exercise.
Yes.
I was all stiff this morning. I feel fine now because I've been up and down, up and down.
That's what you said.
There, action.
I would like to request an executive session to discuss non-elected personnel, to discuss an employment issue for 10 minutes.
I make a motion, we go to executive session for non-elected personnel for
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Those, all of us. Sorry.
The usual suspects.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded,
Alrighty,
going to
guys.
executive session for 10 minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion.
Hammer.
I don't want to wait on her. She's
You know, somebody I've been prosecuting since he's 14 years old, now he's 39.
I said,
And he's basically almost playing defense counsel.
Yeah.
Joe's a decent
She's
guy, you know.
at the computer doing
Okay.
it. She's got a customer. Or
Okay.
what are they calling? All right, I think we have one order of business left to do, and that's the job description of our legal secretary.
I move that we approve the new job description for the secretary for the county attorney.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded. We adopt the new job description. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Anything else?
Nope. We're adjourned.